Like the kids say, you're kind of getting your flowers now after this long career in Iowa. And,
Ooh, are you calling me old?
No, ma'am. But I was wondering how that career has prepared you for these couple years and this kind of run and what's happening now with your team and you.
Well, first of all, happy Easter to everybody. It's great to be here on Easter Sunday and be with everybody and our team, and just for our team family to be together today. But, I don't think you change much as a coach, right? Your values, your morals are what you are. And they're the same as, when you started coaching. I mean, you evolve as a coach as far as X's and O's, and you have to evolve because of the way kids have changed over time, right? I mean, you coach differently because of that, but what you ultimately stand for, what your morals and values are, hopefully they don't change as you have success or have failures. You hopefully are the same person no matter what, and I hope that I'm the same person that I was when my mom and dad raised me.
Morning, Coach. Doug Feinberg, the AP. As a seasoned coach.
Thank you, Doug. No, I'm just kidding.
We're definitely in a movement for women's basketball, not a moment, a movement. Players like Caitlin, players like Angel are helping grow things. From someone who's been around for a few, do you notice that? Do you see that these two players are really a big part of the movement that we've seen for women's hoops the last 2 years or 3 years, really since COVID hit?
I do. I mean, it's just has exploded. Women's basketball, women's sports. I mean, I go back to Nebraska volleyball having 90,000 people to watch their match in the football stadium, or our team having 56,000 in the crossover in Kinnick. It is a different time for women's athletics, and it's the best time to be a female athlete. I think that definitely those two players have had something to do with it. I think there's a lot of great players around our country. I mean, you look at Paige and Juju and Hannah. I mean, you could go on and on about the tremendous talent that is coming up. So this is not like the pinnacle, in my opinion. This is just the start of it, and I just hope we keep getting the momentum that we need. And that's why it bothers me when I see people tearing down these great players. Isn't this what we all wanted, is for our game to continue to rise? And so to me, it's a shame when people, not only, adults, when adults are tearing down these women, when all we should be doing is building them up. They're amazing.
Nancy Armour, USA Today Sports. Lisa, back here.
Yep, thanks.
What have you seen from Flage in the last, I'd say, 5-7 games, and how much different is she than she was when you guys played them last year?
Yeah, I mean, and I've only had a time to watch a couple of films, okay? But it seems like she has really elevated her game throughout this tournament. I mean, in the last 5 games, she's, averaging 19 points versus 14 on the year. So, I mean, her game is elevated. She's really hard to guard. She just, as a sophomore, seems to have great leadership skills and great emotion. Like, it seems like the team kind of goes, with her emotion. And so she's an unbelievable player.
Lisa, good morning. Howard McDowell at The Next. Just wanted to talk about Sid, if we could. 2 things, 2 parts to it. One, when Sid was put into the starting lineup, if you could share the conversation that you had, what you remember, instructions you gave, and just also specific to the system you run. It almost seems like she's like the ideal for it when you look at all of her shot coming, beyond the arc or at the rim. She's gotten more efficient. Did you expect that when she came to the starting lineup specifically?
All year long I was telling her, you're the 6th player in our league. You could be starting on every other team. And I loved what she said one time. She said a lot of people jump, when they're not getting the starting position or when they're not getting the playing time, and they jump to where they think the grass is going to be greener. And she said, I stuck with it because I love this place. And that meant so much to me that she made that comment. But I think she has just seamlessly went into the starting lineup. And I think it's because of the style that we play, that we're kind of positionless, so it really doesn't matter what, if you're a 1, 2, 3, or 4, it doesn't really matter. They all do the same things. And so, it really was effortless for her to move in there. She's always been confident. She's always been just this tough, like, chip on my shoulder, I'm going to prove you wrong type of kid. So it has been very easy. Now, would I love to have Molly Davis back? Certainly. Would love to have Molly Davis back. But I'm so happy that Sid is showing everybody what she's capable of.
Kyle Huseman, Hawkeye Report. You guys got to play LSU last year in the national title game. They have some pieces back from that team, some new pieces. Is there anything that stands out to you about this year's team that is maybe a different challenge that they pose this year compared to last year?
I just think they shoot the 3-ball. They rebound so well. They're just an excellent basketball team. And so, it's going to take a complete game by us, but they are, they're pretty balanced. You got 5 people averaging in double figures. That's really hard to guard when you have that kind of balance. And so they have experience, great experience at all their spots. There's just not a lot of weaknesses there.
Erica L. Ayala with CBS Sports Coach. Thank
Sorry,
you.
it sounds like it's coming from God right now instead of out here, so I apologize.
I will not take credit for that,
Okay,
certainly not
there you
on
go.
today.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to go in a completely different direction with this question, but you talked about some of the negative comments that come with the growth of women's basketball. And since it is women's basketball, there are often very sexist comments, and even again, because it's basketball, racist comments that come with that. As a coach who is molding young players, how do you and your staff handle those things as they come to make sure that first your players are okay, but then also that they have an awareness of and an understanding of how to be confident and be supportive and stand up for their teammates or others who are experiencing that?
Yeah. First of all, that's not done overnight, in my opinion. That's something that, your culture is built on, that you have to have your teammates' backs no matter what. So when things do happen, it's not like we're teaching you in that moment, but it's it's ingrained in you. It's a part of who you are. Building confidence in my women. We talk all the time, do not listen to outside sources. They don't know you. They don't know your heart. They don't know who you are as a person. And so to me, it's like we have a very tight circle, and we really just care about the people in the circle and what they think about us, and not what the outside, voices have opinions, because they don't know us. They really don't know who we are. So to me, it's all about what you've established the minute they walk on campus to the minute they leave, versus trying to correct something or create something in the moment.
Lisa, Chantel Jennings with The Athletic. 2 quick ones, if I may. The first is Molly Davis. Are you expecting her to be available for tomorrow?
I don't. I'm really, really disappointed. I really thought she'd be back for the tournament. I really did. And so that's too bad. But I don't expect her tomorrow.
Okay. And then the second one, Caitlin has talked about how she enjoys talking on the floor. Angel has as well. Kim earlier said she enjoys it as well. I'm curious for you, when you were a player, 6-on-6 Iowa basketball, were you much of a talker?
You had a lot of time to talk in 6-on-6 because you stood at the half-court line while the other 3 were playing. And so, yeah, you got to know the guard that was guarding you pretty well. But no, I don't know that trash talking was a thing really back then. Maybe it was, and I just don't remember. Maybe, it wasn't where I played. But no, I don't do that to this day.
Hi, Lisa. Mark Singulace from the Albany Times-Union. You have 2 very good high-profile teams playing on Monday. One of you is not going to the Final Four. Is it unfortunate this game isn't taking place at the Final Four? And understanding the challenges of putting a bracket together, could they have done a better job of making sure that this didn't happen until Cleveland?
Yeah, I'm sure the committee did what they thought was best as far as seeding this. There's a lot of storylines, obviously, that have been created through the bracket, but I don't think the committee sits there and thinks about the storylines. I think they're really trying to just seed the tournament as best as they can, and they felt this is the best way. So do I wish we were facing, I just want to be playing in the Final Four. So, do I play LSU here, there? It doesn't matter. We just want to play our best game tomorrow and try to get there.
Owen Sebring, KGAN. Happy Easter, Coach. After she broke the scoring record, Caitlin was asked about what 6-year-old Caitlin would think about where she was at right now. What would 6-year-old Lisa Geske think about, playing in or coaching in 2 straight Elite Eights and where she's at right now?
Yeah, I couldn't imagine it. Yeah, I mean, my dad put up a basketball hoop for my 2 older brothers, and they never used it. I'm the one that wore it out and made them take down their bushes so I could shoot from farther out and stuff. But 6-year-old Lisa would have no comprehension of this because you didn't have the role models then. You didn't know what the possibilities were. You didn't know what you could achieve, really. Back then, I mean, we didn't have, people, the Olympic basketball team back then. So that's why role modeling is so important. That's why women need to see women in spots of leadership and of success so that they can become that too. I didn't have that growing up.
Hey, Coach. Claire Hanna with TSN. Angel Reese was just in here talking about how she's played against Caitlin Clark since high school, and clearly a lot of eyes are on the 2 of them. In your thoughts, what makes their matchup, just the 2 of them, their leadership, so electrifying?
Well, they're both dynamic players. I mean, they're both emotional. They're both passionate about the game. They're highly competitive. They're both excellent at their craft. And so, I think it is naturally going to happen that you talk about the 2 of them a lot.
Billy Witz with the New York Times. Lisa, you talked about, as a coach, your morals and your values shouldn't change over time. How would you describe yours and maybe how they're reflected in your team and how they play?
Well, I mean, I've always tried to be a coach of integrity. I think that's really important, that your players see honesty when you're talking to them, that you're trustworthy, that you do what you say you're going to do, when you're going to, supposed to do it. I lead by my faith. I'm a very faith-based person, and that's important to me. And so I think that's kind of where it lands in. Be kind to others, man.
Follow up, hold on.
And how might that be reflected in the team and how they play?
I mean, I want them to be, that's one of our values is integrity. That's a big part of who we are. So when you walk into our locker room, it's one of the things that you see. Respect is another one that you see. Respect of your teammates, but also, yourself. How do you talk to yourself? How do you take care of yourself? How do you, self-motivate yourself? So those are all really, really important, and I try to instill those upon my team all the time. I mean, they know our values are not just slapped on a wall. And, okay, there they are, check it off, we did that one day. If you asked our players what our values are, they would be able to recite them. They know what they are, because it's ingrained in what we do all the time.
Here, last one will be there. Go ahead.
Yeah, Coach Bluder, Michael Vopel from ESPN.com. It seemed like Caitlin was really intentional about getting the rim yesterday against Colorado, and I know that was something that was a little difficult to do last year in the championship game against LSU. Are there ways you think you can help her do that a little bit better in this matchup tomorrow?
Yeah, I think I got to think about that a little bit more, MA, because it is, they're such a good defensive team. They're so long. And she did a great job yesterday. Her 3 wasn't falling, and so she did what a smart basketball player does. Okay, I'm going to score in other ways. I'm going to assist the ball. I'm going to get to the rim. She didn't get to the free throw line yesterday, which is, I don't remember a game where Caitlin has not gotten to the free throw line. That was kind of unusual. But, I'm going to have to figure out ways for her to get to the rim because, LSU is just so good, and I haven't done that yet, MA.
Last one. Thank you.
Yeah, Jeff Linder, Cedar Rapids Gazette. You talked earlier about how you've evolved a little bit because kids have changed. Mm-hmm. How have kids changed for either better or for worse?
I mean, you used to, when you first kind of started out coaching, I mean, kids believed everything you said and they did it because you said to do it. And now they have to kind of know the why. And that's okay, right? I mean, that's just, how things have changed. Parents are definitely more involved, and I'm fortunate that I've got great parents on my program that don't get involved, but I know I've talked to a lot of other coaches that parents are highly involved. Obviously, social media has changed players so much, and they're more worried about their, brand and that sort of thing than there just wasn't all the distractions that there are now. So kids have changed because they want to be treated, I want to say, more humanely than used to be. 40, 50 years ago, coaches could do whatever they wanted. Nobody really said anything. And now, they're treated like people. They're respected a lot more. And I think that's a really good thing.